So hey everyone, welcome. So today we are going to look at how do you clear AWS certifications or you crack AWS certifications. So it's going to be a pretty small lecture, but then it's going to give you at least a really good idea about how to approach AWS certifications or any cloud related certifications for that matter. So these are all the steps that you have to do in order to clear an AWS cert. So you have to first go through the entire course content. If you're a beginner and the course content is too overwhelming for you or it's an information overload, I would probably suggest you to go through the entire course content at least twice and do your homework. So at least get your foundations ready in terms of Linux and networking basics. At least you have to know subnetting in order to at least understand all of the VPC constructs and so on. And then you have to do all of the labs that are part of your course content and do all of the labs from the back of your mind. So there is one really nice step which I generally do for my students. So since I sleep pretty late at night at around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I randomly call one or two of my students and I ask them to recite the entire steps of creating an application load balancer or creating an auto scaling group and so on. And they are terrified, man, but that's something that I love doing. So you have to remember each and every step or each and every configuration, irrespective of whatever time or day it is, right? So, and then the fourth step would be to go ahead and read all of the white papers and FAQs. The reason why I say this is because even though most of the white papers, explanations are included within the course, there are some solutions architects out there who have been experienced for nearly 15, 20 years, and they would have written a lot of documentation, right? So, and these are official AWS white papers. So I would like you to go ahead and browse through that. These are PDF documents. So for the solutions architect associate, you do have one called as the well architected framework. So I would love you to just go through that website and look at all of the white papers. And to directly go ahead and look at FAQs, it's very easy to search for one. So all you have to do is go to Google and search for AWS S3 FAQ or AWS EC2 FAQ. Just type the respective service and type FAQ, and automatically you're going to land in that page. And then the fifth step would be to go ahead and do practice exams from WizLabs, BrainCert, and Udemy. And I would suggest you to do it at least twice in order to get all of these questions and scenarios into your mind. So I would generally like you to start off with WizLabs and then BrainCert and then Udemy, because there is one particular person called as John Bonso in Udemy, and when his practice tests are pretty difficult, but then it prepares you for the exam. So in that way, the Udemy is the most toughest over here, and WizLabs and BrainCert are on at least on the same level as toughness. So you have to do the practices only after you have finished the previous 4 steps. I don't think that you can do practice tests and directly skip all of the content and go ahead and write your exam. I've seen people do that. I really don't want anyone to do that. So it's very, very important that you get the content in your mind. It should be pretty deep. So therefore, when you start doing practice tests, you should at least get 85 plus, 85% plus, right? And if you are getting at least 60 or 62 in your first practice test, I would ask you to go back and read the content once more and then approach the practice test again after a week or two, once you have more content in your mind, right? And once you finish your practice test, at least I would suggest within 2 or 3 days, go ahead and write your exam, because the entire content will be fresh in your mind. That's one thing that I generally advise a lot of people to do. And then you have to read blog posts of people who have cleared these exams and posted their exam experience on the internet, their exam reviews. You can read the A Cloud Guru forums. You can go through Jayendra Patil's blogs, and these are pretty helpful, because when you're going for your exam, you have a lot of content in your mind, and these blog posts and these exam experience reviews would bring all of that content, which is very broad in nature, to a pretty narrow in nature, to at least allow your mind to concentrate only on certain AWS services in depth. And then the last step would be to go ahead and write your final certification exam. So it's not an easy stuff to do, but then when you put your mind to it, and at least 2 months of time, you will be able to do it. So what are the steps that you do after you finish your AWS certification, right? So there are some things that you have to look out for. So there are some benefits that you have to look out for. So please do go ahead and download your badge and then have it on your resume. I wait for at least 2 or 3 days until the badge is being provided for you on the CertMetrics website. And then also ensure that you get a free practice test voucher code on the same website under benefits section. And also that you get a 50% off voucher code for your next exam, which is excellent, because any other AWS exams that you write after this, you can use that 50% off voucher code. And I wrote mine in 2017, and I still do have 1 or 2 voucher codes, which I can go ahead and use for my next exams. So will AWS alone help you in the market just by clearing this entire course? Will that alone help you in the market to get a new job with a really good high salary? I really don't think so, because the way the world is going, not just one cloud is going to help you, at least multiple clouds are going to help you. And at the same time, not even one cloud is going to help one particular customer. Maybe that customer has multiple cloud platforms. So, and different use cases according to that. So they always expect you to be really good on multiple cloud technologies, not just only Amazon Web Services. So you can start your journey on Azure, you can start your journey on Google Cloud Platform and so on. And then I always believe in this particular philosophy that I generally say in my guest lectures. So one concept today is always equal to 300 concepts a year, which is equal to 4 certifications. So you may think that this equation is not right, because you have 365 days in a year, so you spend 60 days on weekends for your family, but every other day you go ahead and read one concept for yourself. And irrespective of whether you're a developer or a tester or 15 or 20 years experience in the market, I would recommend you guys to at least spend 1 hour a day for yourself, because that's going to be very, very helpful in the future. You can stay up to the market. You can stay at par with the market if possible within your domain at least, right? And then some other future technologies that you can concentrate on are Docker, Jenkins, Kubernetes, DevOps, Ansible, Chef, Puppet, so many other. I can just keep listing all of the different technologies that are there. But then that would be a good starting point, because you can become a full stack developer. If you're from the developer's background and you're learning the cloud, you can go ahead and become a person who develops their own product, and then uses proper DevOps practices in order to go ahead and deploy your product all the way up to production, and then create a cloud infrastructure for yourself, which is highly available, fault tolerant, and highly scalable, and so on. So with that, I'm just going to end this session by saying all the best, and have a really nice exam experience. I hope this course has helped you a lot in your career. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.